Welcome everyone to episode 9 of Boom Mike Banter. I am Nick. With me today, I always usually say that it's a guest I've wanted to have on since day one. I've had like 3 people give me shit for it, so I'm not going to say that anymore. So, a person that is absolutely one of my best friends. We talk all the time. I love her dearly. She is a home slice of the pie that I call my life, and that is Allie. That's where you say hi.
I was taking in the moment of being a home slice.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You're really appreciating it, yes. Allie, how the fuck are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Can't complain.
So I'm going to preface this. So Allie, first of all, fuck you on a side note.
Why?
So you came over at 7 o'clock, and we were supposed to have a very normal, organized podcast. I was trying to be a very smart professional, and we've had a couple drinks, though, back and forth. Well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase this. I've overdrank now at this point, so... Who knows what the hell's going to happen based on this conversation-wise.
I mean, we had a very organized conversation before we even started this podcast, so thank you. Most
of your conversation before the podcast is talking shit. Let me say organized.
I just like to talk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. It's very fair.
My fault.
But, so we're starting in on a story, and you were kind of talking about it, and then I interrupted you because I was like, wait, this is a great podcast conversation. I was like, oh my God. So, you saw one of your first superhero movies.
I did.
Yep. And of course, me and probably everyone who's listening would probably have guessed it was Avengers Endgame. It was not.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I have never seen any of that.
You don't have to apologize.
It's not my thing. More of a sports person, but whatever.
You don't have to apologize. So what movie did you see, Allie?
I went to the theaters and I saw Aquaman.
Because you're a massive Aquaman fan, right? Like there's no other desire whatsoever. You're just purely a fan of the ocean and aquatic life. It had nothing to do with Jason Momoa's like amazingly dope ass body, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to clarify. For listeners, so nobody got the wrong idea.
Save the dolphins.
You just went in with a fucking like PETA shirt or some shit. Like, yes, we need to save the animals.
Gonna say no to shirtless Jason Momoa.
There it was. So okay, so you said you went with a girlfriend, right?
I did, yes. So
sorry. No, you're fine.
My girlfriend was like, "Do you want to see a movie?" And I was like, "Sure." And we didn't know what to see, so we got to the theater. And side note, I've never seen any type of like what do I want to say? I've never seen any type of like preview or anything for this movie, so I had no idea who was in it.
Got it.
I don't know who the fuck Aquaman is. Sorry. Side note, don't know who anybody is except for Iron Man because I've seen them, and that's only because I appreciate Robert Downey Jr. for being a great actor. So
he's on point.
He is.
Yeah.
So we go there, and like there's a couple movies playing that I was like, oh, okay, we're probably gonna see this or some dumbass chick flick. Sorry guys, I don't like chick flicks. Went in there and she was like, so like what are you feeling? And I was like, I don't know, whatever. She's like, well, I'll buy the tickets and like you can buy like the snacks. And I was like, all right, whatever. And she gives me this ticket and I was like, Aquaman, what the fuck's this? And she was like, oh no, it's like really good. And I was like, are you a superhero fan? And she's like, oh well, like my boyfriend like appreciates.
I feel like that's most girlfriends.
Is it?
Like, yeah.
Is that like a thing?
I would say most dudes. I mean, I'm not trying to be gender biased. There's obviously women that give a fuck about comic books, and I appreciate them deeply. But I'd still say the scaling is like at least 70-30.
Hey, not one of those.
Yeah, bingo. So like, yeah, exactly. Like dudes, I feel like there's a lot more dudes. Even if they're dude bros, like there's just dude bros that give more of a fuck about comic book heroes.
Right.
And at least cinematic universe wise, because it's way easier instead of having. Like, for me, for example, like, I mean, I'm not at this current moment, but, like, I've been a big fan of comic books. I'm a comic book enthusiast, so, like, I'm always a big fan of, like, actually reading and learning artists' interpretations of stories and stuff. But, I mean, just a lot more dude bros, I feel like, will go to the movies and be like, Spider-Man fucking rules! As opposed to chicks who are like, web slinging's weird. Like, I'm not...
Yo, spiders are fucking gross.
But Spider-Man, though, he's a man. Come on, Spider-Man's fucking dope.
I'm sorry.
Peter Parker's where it's at, Allie. Alright, let's not argue here. So you went in to go see Aquaman.
I went to go see Aquaman, right? So, I'm in line and she gives me the ticket or whatever, and I'm going to buy, like, snack foods, because I'm a girl and that's what you do. And I was like, what the fuck's this? And she's like, no, this movie is great. I'm like, you are going to love it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, you like superhero movies? I didn't know this about you. I've known you for a little while, and I didn't know this about you. And she was like, yeah, well, my boyfriend, like, really likes, superheroes, and he's, like, really looking forward to, like, Captain, like, Endgame and stuff. And I was like, all right, whatever.
Like a lot of the Marvel stuff.
Yeah,
even though
he's really big into
Marvel,
but whatever. I don't know the difference. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So I was like, okay, so we got in there, and again, I've never seen any type of, like, poster, nothing for this movie.
You have no idea what the fuck's going
on. And, we got in there, and, like, we're watching the previews or whatever, and, like, the beginning of the movie happens, and I'm just like, I'm gonna hate this movie. It's so fucking stupid. Like, take me to a movie where there's, like, zombies and shit coming out, and like somebody slits your throat, and like I really want to get like hardcore like gore in there, or like some fucking thriller action, or some like guns or blazing and shit.
I was just gonna say, I was like, I feel like you're the type of chick that would be like perfect for like a Die Hard movie or some shit.
Oh hell yeah, that is like my thing. So we're getting in there or whatever, and I'm thinking, oh my god, this movie's gonna suck. And she's like, no, you're really gonna love it. You're really gonna love it. And I was like, how do you know this? And she was like, just wait. And I was like, all right, whatever. So we're getting in the movie. And then, boom, Aquaman comes out. And I'm like, hot damn, my future husband, who's already fucking married with 2 kids, is right on the screen. And I was like...
Yeah, spoiler, Jason Momoa is already locked down.
Thank you. You introduced me to the greatest superhero movie ever.
Why do I feel... See, it's so funny because I never thought about that with Aquaman, but why do I feel like after seeing that movie... Because I didn't go to the theaters to see it because I was like, I'm not paying for this crap. But
did you see it, though?
I did see it eventually. I Redboxed it. But it was one of those movies... I didn't think about this until now, but it's so funny because I would have paid to see like half of the women out of the theater, just fucking fans. Like,
oh I was sweating bullets.
I just think that's so good.
I mean,
that's so fucking funny.
It's just, he's really just a beautiful human being.
I mean, a lot of people are big fans.
It's kind of the Jen Aniston thing, So like, you get it?
This is really funny. So, I know at some random point before the podcast we were jokingly talking about Comic-Con. Have you heard what he does during Comic-Con conventions when he's there?
You just told me what Comic-Con was.
I know, so so you definitely don't. Yeah. So one of the funniest things that he does is he did this for Aquaman. He really did this for Game of Thrones. So
oh my God,
when couples go up to him and ask him to like take a photo, he'll cuddle with the girlfriend.
Pick me!
And push, and he'll...
Stop it.
Yeah,
You're lying.
No, and he'll intentionally like push the... I'll show you a video after we record this.
Please.
And he'll literally always be like pushing the dude out of the way. One of the funniest ones is he's pushing the guy out of the way, and he signed the photo, but he signs the photo completely over the guy.
Pick me. I don't... Listen.
It's so good.
Pick me.
It's
just pick
so
me.
Funny.
Jason Momoa, if you're out there, if you listen to this podcast.
Which you won't, but...
Fucking listen to it. Please pick me. Please, just pick me.
Oh, God.
God damn it.
So Allie, ironically enough, talking about picking you for a guy, this actually very oddly leads into our next major point of conversation. This is going to be the first subject I had.
Okay.
Was at this moment, both of us are self-titled single, I would say, right? Yeah,
yes,
definitely. But... This is just one thing, and I've tried talking about this with a couple of people, and I've had like some back and forth on it. But I think you're a person, especially for a podcast environment, would be a lot better. Okay. But like, I just think because we're both like in our mid-20s, and I'm just so surprised because like I understand why like people have, I just think people in general have this kind of notion of like, this like inclination or this need to not be single or to necessarily not be like independent.
Why?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. And that's my exact point, which I find so funny because like I just semi recently at this point now, it's been like at least a year.
You did, yep.
But I just got out of a big 9-year thing.
You did.
And you've had multiple committed relationships. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, what do you mean? You've been in a committed thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And now. And that's what I was even going to bring up. So jokingly, so now you're currently seeing somebody, which is awesome. Good for you. Yep.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I mean,
He's all right.
He's all right.
It's okay. It's okay. But what I was gonna more lead into was, I just find it odd, and I don't know if you've ever had this situation, but I get this situation a lot. So like, at the present moment, I've been back and forth between like two people. Well, actually, at this present day and time,
been that situation.
yeah, hilarious. So at this present
You're
between
laughing. I'm dead serious.
between two women, good for you. No, I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking. So
no thanks.
So at this exact moment of recording, it's really just been one. But I was really bouncing back and forth between two people.
Right, we talked about that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so funny though, because so many people though have asked me, like a lot of friends have been like, "Wow," like, and both of them know that you're seeing two different people. Like you're seeing two different people. I'm like, yeah, it's just that's okay. Like, first of all, I'm being upfront. I'm being honest. It's not.
Wow, are people that oblivious? What?
That's what's weird. I don't even know how to classify it anymore. Like, oblivious, I wouldn't even say is the right word. I think it's just the stigma that people have. I think it's, and what bothers me too though is as another counterpoint though. Like, I don't. Like, one thing that I had to break myself out of too though is like when you're single. Oh, that totally means like you're like 100% playing. You're totally playing the field all the time. Like everything's totally open all the time, and that's where it's at.
Not really.
Not at all. And like exactly like a.
Sometimes you just need like time for you.
100%.
Like to figure you out.
100%.
And I definitely. Okay, so like coming forward, I was in a relationship for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
We were high school sweethearts. I honestly thought that we were going to get married. Like we
Mm-hmm.
were at that point in my life where marriage was a thing. We had commitment to the marriage. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided that it was best for me to walk away. And it was not the easiest decision. It was probably the hardest decision in my life.
Yeah, I believe that. I've been there.
And yes. Yes, you have. But I, thought that at that time frame, when I chose to make that choice to be myself, I didn't know who I was, and I feel like I'm not saying this for everybody. Like, some people, like, they know who they are and, bing, bam, boom, you're done. Like, you're still you and I'm still me. And at the end of the day, we're still two separate people.
Mm-hmm.
But the type of relationship that I was in was not necessarily healthy.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I completely changed to make this person happy. And at the end of the day, I realized, I don't need to do that for everybody. Yeah. And I ended up learning things that I didn't know about me and what my preferences were. And
something too, like just to jump off of that for a little bit, like something that I realized even like when my whole thing happened, and like on top of it too, like something that I didn't even just like look in that in an instance, but something that's expanded upon. And I think that's definitely why I've like made sure to take a lot more time, like at least like time like being, like quote unquote single, is something I thought about. And maybe this is just because of my age, just being 26 and still pretty young, is I thought about like, okay, in your development years, which I would picture like when you're a teenager and then going into like your early 20s, was like, okay, that's just still your development years. So you're still learning and still formulating stuff. But I'm totally wiping that slate away now of like, I just feel like everybody changes all the time. Like things happen and people change. And like, it's very weird though, because I have a counterpoint with that, where at the same time I feel like, and like I don't know like the best way to describe it, but I feel like on a home stance, like people are true to themselves, and like there's some portion of them that will never fluctuate, but just in general, like people learn new things and they adopt new things and they try new things and all that stuff. So people learn, grow, and develop all the time. So it's that and you're like wincing, and I know exactly it's that weird 50-50. But anyway, so
see, I think more so my wince comes from the fact of like, I hear where you're coming from. I get it.
Yes.
I understand. But I was with someone that didn't change. They were the same exact person that I met when he was 16 and I was 18.
Yes.
Or 17, I guess, when we met. But
close enough.
When I was 17 and turned 18.
Yeah.
And didn't change. And I did.
Yes.
And that's what the issue more so was. It's not necessarily that was the whole thing. There was a lot of
100%
shadiness and stuff in between there.
Of
but
course, yeah.
That was my struggle the most, was I was realizing that this was not a person that I was meant to be with. And that's just how things ended up being. And,
Yeah.
But I totally get where you're coming from, because I did end up growing and changing and maturing.
Yes.
and this person didn't.
And that's that thing, because I do have a mantra though of like people initially cannot change. Like that's honestly just like
I wholeheartedly believe that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like if you're in like set in your ways and
people
like
don't change.
there's
it's
some
just
stuff
how it
initially,
is.
but it's weird because I feel like there's still growth and development though out of people, and like people either hide their true selves or either like, you know, because like with I feel like in my particular instance it was more of like the person I was with didn't 100% fully accept and or realize who they were.
Yes.
And then once they were more comfortable and once they had more of a time setting in place, once they then fully realized who they were, then they realized that the person they were with didn't necessarily match
what they
wanted. Exactly. So then that's kind of where that ended up. But that's always been my thing of like, I don't know. I think if people are strong enough and are aware of it, I think people can definitely try to change their habit, if only though, this is my big stipulation to it, only if they perceive it as a negative. Like that's my only way that I think that people could actually change like their setup. If they actually don't, and I mean wholeheartedly, I'm not talking like they just don't like themselves. You know what I mean? Like it not just, oh, I don't like myself of this, like, but if they genuinely believe like there's something a part of them that they don't like, then that would be my only like stipulation to it. But otherwise, it's that weird kind of mix. So anyway, because I know we're going off on a semi tangent there, but that's my whole thing with it. So
sorry for everything.
Yeah. No, hey, listen, I appreciate. Hey, vice versa. By the way, we both went through some shit, so we've both been through been through the ringer. Exactly.
You know, like you do what you can, and you think you're doing what's best for you, and at the end of the day, shit happens.
Yeah. Well, and my thing is too, and that's what's so funny. Like, I know a lot of people though, since being single though, have been like, oh my god, like, are you, you know? And here's my whole thing with it. Like, I'm not. Wait.
Are you okay?
Thank you so much, Allie, for asking.
Appreciate it.
No one asks me that anymore. No, but
they should. It's good to know.
People ask me all the time.
I know.
But no,
what being a jackass.
No, you're fine. What I was gonna get at though was like, I think people have this concept now of, because like I went through a whole thing and then it's like, oh my god, you know. And here's my thing, I still absolutely believe in the concept of love. I think that there's definitely a relationship that I still haven't found yet and all this stuff, but at the same time, I'm definitely now more at 26 taking some backup time.
You're a man now.
Yeah. And taking
Men
some
have
time.
needs.
Well,
listen, children.
And more so,
don't succumb to the urges.
And more so, taking my time of just for myself and really fucking figuring myself out. And of course, listen, if I can have some fun in the meantime, absolutely. I'm a 26-year-old guy. Exactly. If I fucking have needs, by all means. But
me too.
Exactly.
Hey, by the way, out there, I'm a 26-year-old guy looking for the perfect woman.
Get the fuck out of here. The problem is it's 2019, so people are going to perceive that the wrong way. So first of all, you are a 26-year-old woman, female.
I mean, I have the female part.
Yeah, and you more importantly, you identify as a female.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Don't throw the scope. Listen, we're in a different year now. A lot of people
throwing the scope. I was just joking. I'm sorry. I'm not meaning to offend anybody.
No, it's all fine. But no, that's the thing, and it's very interesting now.
Any hot ladies out there? I know somebody.
All I'm saying, it's just very interesting now. Of like, I don't know if it's just because I'm older or what, but it's funny because I've been through the ringer with it, and same thing with you. So I feel like this is where we can share a lot with it. But
yes,
it's so funny because like I know a lot of people still like freak out. A lot of people even get like, you know, super committed or even like married in their early 20s. And for me, it's just always that thing of like, if it's something, exactly, like if it's something,
me,
if it's something,
almost got, yeah.
And my whole thing, and even when I was in it, like even when I was in the most serious thing that I thought I was a part of, like I still had that thought though of like, if it's supposed to be someone that's for the rest of your life, it's okay to take the time because it's supposed to be the person you're with the rest of your life. Another thing, I actually want to ask you this because I think you're the person who would have like the most like legitimate opinion about this. And I got shit for this, so I'm gonna describe you my situation, then you give me your opinion on it.
Okay.
So I was up until a couple months. This is what's bananas about the whole thing. A couple months before I broke it off with my girlfriend.
Right.
I was gonna be engaged.
Really?
But, yeah.
Wow.
Funny enough. But what was really crazy about the situation was I am one of those people that thinks that when you are engaged, you should be engaged for at least like a year to really appreciate the time frame of being engaged. Like, it's a time where you can say fucking his or her fiance. And I think that that's an important time. And, like, I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm one of those people where it's like, I don't like when people automatically throw a ring on it and just immediately are like, oh my God, we have to set a wedding date. And like, oh my God, we've set up this stuff.
Nope.
Yeah, right? So, like, because
I'm sure I'm very unconventional in that thought frame, though.
I feel like both of us are. Like,
yeah, I've never been married.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Oh, well, same. Exactly.
Sorry,
yeah.
fellas.
Yeah.
Never been married.
Yeah.
If you're looking for that single mom, that ain't me. I don't also have any children. Well, technically I do, but anyway. It's beside.
We'll lead into that in a minute.
We'll talk about my job later.
Yeah. Talk about that career path.
Yeah, don't choose that one. But I guess I've also gotten a lot of like bad comments about my choices in life when it comes to that, because I'm one of those people that likes to take time. I like to get to know somebody. It's
a big deal.
And
I think that's the most important thing.
Throwing this out there, my ex is currently getting married. He has been with this girl maybe a year now. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Of course, I was about to say. I don't expect you to keep tabs on it.
Very much, we haven't been together for a long time, and I'm very happy for him. I wish him nothing but the best in life. I hope that he finds somebody that will make him amazingly happy, and they have a family and all of whatever he wants, and fucking Disney comes and pops out and is like, hey, you guys, here I am. And they have wonderful children and all the words.
All the fun stuff.
And all that fun jazz. But my hope is that it's not with me.
Makes sense.
And that's all I've ever wished for, is that you stay the 50 fucking years away from me that you can. Because when you come near me, it is just not a good time. And that's just how it is. But I don't believe that you can, at least from my standpoint, me personally, there are people out there that can fall in love and know that they are meant to be with this person the next week. Like, I get that.
There's couples I've met like that though too.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've supported, like, I've watched them and been like, oh my God, for you two, it's perfect.
That's amazing. Like, I wish I could understand this, but I can't. I like to take time. I'm a very slow person. I don't believe in labels. I'm not a person that believes in labels. That gets me in trouble every freaking time, too.
That's true.
Just so you know.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
I always get in trouble because people assume or they think that I'm better or something. And it's annoying.
Well, and that's what's so funny, because
it's just how it is.
It's hilarious because when you and me are in a setting, and it's so funny because I know, Jesus Christ, we've known each other since like what? How many years? I
was in like middle school.
So what is it? Sure. I'm trying to think. Hold on. So it's 2019. I've at least known you 9 years. Yeah. Because we've been out of high school for a long time. Fuck. Yeah, we old as fuck. I'm trying to think. So let's round up. So let's say I've known you for at least 13 years.
Damn, Grandpa. I know. How you do?
I'm old as shit. This is actually morbidly depressing. Wow. Yeah, no, that does make sense. I've known you since I was like 13.
I'm 26.
Holy fuck! I've known you since I was like 13. Oh my God. Ooh. So anyway.
14, because technically, we were both 13 at one point together. But
at some point. Yeah. Anyway, but no, it's so funny though too, because like I've been in a room with you and you've talked about like a relationship that you're in, but explicitly don't even throw it as that type of title. Exactly. Like you've just totally been like,
somebody that I
somebody you're seeing, and that's totally fine, and that's
really
cool.
Seeing.
And that's even it. Like, that's what's so funny, because I've seen you.
Just kind of seeing them
exactly
at night.
I've seen you proactively like dodge like certain vocab words, so to speak, and it's so funny because so many people will try to pin you down on a term of like, oh, so you're dating them. You're like, no, and it's like, oh, so you're like seeing them. You're like, no.
At night.
And it's so funny just because I've known you for so long.
In the day or in the afternoon or whatever. Whatever's convenient.
It's just so good to see those equations sometimes of like where or what the fuck you're trying to touch. But I'm like, from just being at least like out in the game semi recently, I've definitely felt that though. Like it's very funny though, of like I'm like, you know, with someone, or I meet up with somebody that night, and then I'll talk about it, like, you know, because people are like, oh, like, what are you up to? And I'm like, hey, just like saw this person last night and it was cool. And they're like, oh, so like, what's going on? I'm like, I think I just told you what went on. Like, that was that was the whole story.
Totally just, like, nailed her.
Yeah, it's exactly. Like, it was just like, yeah, exactly. Like, we fucking had our fun. We both shook hands, and we went our separate ways. Like, I was a gentleman. I made her breakfast in the morning. Fucking made sure that she drove home safe. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm a gentleman
That's
of all
like
things.
the best part.
So, yeah, it's the easiest part. But anyway, some people, that blows my mind. I've talked to so many fucking dudes who are like, oh, just whatever, fucking make sure she gets cab fare, fucking Uber. And I'm like, fuck off. Like, how difficult is it to fucking make a simple breakfast? Like, and if you want to be lazy, just pop in 2 Eggos in a toaster. Like, how tough is that?
Yo, Eggos are delicious.
Right, exactly. It's so easy. It's
Eggos are really
that's
good.
what I'm saying. It's the easiest fucking breakfast of all time.
With a little bit of butter on top.
You throw a little bit of butter, some syrup,
Yep.
fucking cut that shit up, bam, fucking done. But anyway,
Yep.
it blows my mind. But it's so funny. So going back now, it's hilarious because, like, I'll talk to so many people and they'll be like, oh, so, like, how's that gonna go? And I'm like, I don't know what you mean. Like, we met up and we had a fun time and that was it. And and if she calls me, cool. But also, if not, that's totally fine.
I don't
like,
care,
yeah, exactly.
I got laid anyway.
Yeah, like, we were not under the interpretation of, like, oh, this needs to be a required thing now.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's weird because, like, down the road, I still have the same goals that I had even when I was in a long-term relationship. Do I want to find, quote-unquote, the one?
The person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do I want to be in a long-term invested relationship and get into a committed relationship? Absolutely. But, like, is that happening at this moment, or have I met that person yet? Fuck no. Like, I'm still just doing my thing and fucking enjoying myself. Yeah, that is true. Possibly. That is very true. But
I have always thought about that. Like, you know, and I'm not, okay, so, like, I actually am seeing a human that is not just somebody that I call.
Yes. Yeah. This is
a legitimate somebody.
It's semi-serious, which I know you love that word. Yeah, I know you love that word. I know you love it. I know it's one of your favorites.
But ever since, like, I've been in a committed relationship for a long time, for years, I've had, like, a big fear of relationships, and that's, like, a major turnoff to people, and I get it. But I just don't believe that you need to put a label on things. Keep in mind, I haven't discussed this at all with
of course,
with
that person. Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't know, and if he were to bring up the labels, I probably wouldn't say no.
Oh, there you go.
But
look at you moving forward.
I know. I'm a big girl now. Can wear my big girl panties.
But so anyway, so this guy talking to you.
But I just don't think, and I've definitely ran into this with other people where, like, I've continued to allow things to be just, like, casual, but, like, you can't see anybody else, which is obviously like, I don't know how you define it, but, like, if you're in a relationship with someone, you don't see anybody else.
I think
don't call anybody else, and you don't talk to anybody else,
the minute a casual
when you
thing
define
has
rules
yep.
in something,
yep.
that's automatically a relationship.
And
I was like, out quicker than you can blink, because I was like, fuck no.
The minute you have to make rules or define what's happening,
it's a relationship.
You're in a relationship.
Fucked.
Yeah.
You're married at that point.
Way. No, not that far. You're definitely in it. One way, shape, or form. You're definitely in it.
But no, everything is going really well. It's definitely a lot slower than what I'm used to, because most people are like, boom, bam, you know, like, I'm ready, you're 26, let's have babies, and I'm
exactly.
like, I got 12 babies at work, I want to come home to an empty home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, no, it's pretty good, and I don't think that people should give you, or them, or him or her, anybody, any type of, like, bad words, or comments, or anything about titles, because at the end of the day, like, whatever makes you comfortable or happy, that's what should be important.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you're happy doing what you do right now and you don't want to have any type of commitment in your life, who gives a shit? Yeah. Slut it up, Nick.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Allie. You know what? Just because I'm going to keep doing it, Allie, just because you said so. Thank you. Thank you
I've
so
been
goddamn
there.
much. That's a whole different podcast for a whole different episode. But
Oof.
So
yeah, let's talk about the second day of my breakup, because we're just second day, Allie moved on.
Yeah, there you go. But no, so one thing we've casually brought up a couple times is your current employment.
Yeah.
So Allie, what do you do?
I'm a teacher.
So I know you've been very mixed about it. But let me just say, as a person hearing that from the outside and hearing you share a lot of stories about it, that's awesome. Like, first of all, hold on. Hold on before you make any noises.
Talk all the nice words about it so I can shut you down.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. So first of all, the fact that you're really doing your part and that you're genuinely, and this is always just something as a friend I've always honestly appreciate, but the fact that you're like really putting in your time, effort, all that stuff. No, but seriously, like I know it's a job you've been very mixed and back and forth with, and I'm pretty sure the main concern is, or the main frustration is like the people that you work with. But let me just say this: the fact that you take a huge portion out of your life to educate and try to like support and care for like kids is a huge fucking deal. That's like
They're my babies.
Exactly. It's like it's literally like a goddamn immeasurable thing that I only give you kudos for someone who.
Thank you.
I first of all, I can't even compare jobs, so I don't want to even try to insult you and compare our job market. But just in the fact
you
of
sell the outlet to my anxiety. What the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, how do you mean? Wait, go into that. How do you mean?
Last year I was diagnosed with GAD. It is moderate to severe.
Really?
Yes. For those of you who do not know medical terms, I'm a nursing student. GAD stands for General Anxiety Disorder. And I had, actually not last year, it was 2 years ago now. Wow, time flies. I had a major panic attack at my job. I just started, it was like my second week, and people probably think, still to this day, that I'm nuts.
I don't think that's true, but
well, thank you.
Yeah.
But I went to the doctor, and I thought I was having a heart attack. And
I believe that.
at that time frame, I was 24 years old. So 24 and having a heart attack,
yeah, doesn't really add
up. But they did some tests, found out that I was just having a major panic attack, gave me some medicine, and gave me some recommendations as to how to manage that. And it's going on year 2. And I can't say that it's like 100% managed, but
course. Yeah.
I've learned to, it's definitely decreased in the intensity a
That's
little.
Good. That's really good.
Which is good. But I like to use playing my PlayStation or my Switch as like an outlet of
100%. Oh, like
being anxious.
It's so funny.
So it's something, you know, and I grew up being a dancer, and I love to dance. Like, it's just one of the things that I absolutely love to do.
It's so funny. It's so funny you brought that up, because I was about to say, that's like one of the first things I knew about you, but like, I don't think we've ever actually talked about that.
I mean, at that time I didn't know, but my parents were going through a divorce. I was having a lot of struggles with my birth mother. And it was just something that I was able to express, like, my emotions, sad, happy, you know, mad. Like, there's a lot of ways to show how you're feeling without expressing it through words. I don't share my feelings with anybody. It's just one of my things. It's a major fatal flaw, like, huge. I don't share my life with anybody, so this is a big deal.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Thank you again for being on this podcast.
Sure,
but anyway, continue.
But that was just one of my outlets of how I was able to express emotion. I'm not an emotional person. I don't cry in front of people. If I do, I'm very embarrassed and I walk away. Like, that's just how things are.
You've always been to yourself.
I like to keep to myself, and I've learned that that's not necessarily a healthy outlet. But unfortunately, I don't have the ability to dance. It's very costly, and I just don't have the time to do it. I never wanted to be on Broadway. I never wanted to be, you know, a dance mom. I don't want to do any of that.
You were using it more as actual expression.
Just a way to show people who I am. And I still to this day do that. I do, you know, go to, I wouldn't say like fucking Altana and like grind my ass on like some random human.
That's a good way to preface it.
Yeah, I'm angry right now. Like,
this is my way of being mad.
No, I'm talking about like actual dance, not like fucking teenage,
of course,
let's have sex on the dance floor type thing.
Good way to preface it.
But yeah, there are some places where you can go to like do different types of dances in the Lancaster area. I've been to New York. I've been a couple in Harrisburg. That just let you, you know, express yourself. And my best friend loves to dance. Like, he's really good at it. And this is just one way that we bond together. So yeah, that's kind of cool. But what I was saying about your job is I'm very lucky that we have, not necessarily like you love so many video games that I've never heard of. And I do have like a couple that I, you know, really hit home. You know, obviously you know that I'm a huge Zelda fan. Like, I know everything you need to know about Zelda, and then some. Like, I haven't even read the book
Oh,
and I know it.
The Hyrule Historia. Well, I was about to. Well, it's so fun. It's so funny that you bring up Zelda though. So Zelda, like Breath of the Wild, definitely I felt like hit a big chord with you because you were super on point with that.
Oh my goodness!
But more so,
the moment I beat my first Divine Beast, I texted you and was like, Nick.
First of all, you're talking a big game on Zelda, but let's be real. If we're talking anybody, and I'm talking most people I know. I mean, there's only maybe 3 people I know that can go Pokedex entry for entry when it comes to Pokemon.
All right, don't.
No, Allie. Right. No. You are one of the biggest Pokemon nerds I know in my entire life.
Yeah.
You and me go almost beat for beat when it comes to fucking Pokemon knowledge.
That's true.
And that's phenomenal. But no, so...
have you met anybody that knows
so I was...
all of the natures and what their perks are?
So to jump off the point that you said though.
Yeah.
But no, I totally agree with that. So, when it comes to anxiety stuff, I'm totally the same way. It's very funny. So at my job, they way more force me, especially at a retail environment, and it's something I kind of headbutt against a lot, which is like, hey, you have to pitch this, you have to organize this, and then on top of that, not just like, because one thing I do a lot is I have more of a casual approach.
Yes.
Like when I'm greeting customers and stuff.
I appreciate that. That's why I come to see you.
Exactly. And that's why I know most people who are in that environment, which have common fucking sense, more appreciate, hey, do you need help with anything? While I'm still behind the counter and not in their fucking face. And I go, well, if you need anything, just let me know. Just let me know if you need help with anything.
Hey, I need to tell you about Carl.
Oh, yeah. Don't even get that fucking started. Jesus Christ, shout out to the last podcast. But, no, but, and that's been my thing. And what's frustrating with the current job that I'm at is they're way more focused on, hey, pick up a tablet in your hand and like make sure you throw it in the customer's face and make sure you let them know every single promotion. And it's really funny because you've told me on multiple occasions too, you've been at my establishment and even other establishments that follow the chain. And yeah, like you've gotten hit with that same thing of like people fucking throw a tablet in your face and tell you every fucking promotion that's going on. And
I worked in retail for 4 years throughout college.
Exactly.
I get it.
But I totally agree with you though of, one thing that definitely helps, like especially at the end of the day, like I get done with my 8-hour shift and I go home and I definitely, because I definitely don't have like what would I say? I definitely don't have like any type of diagnosed anxiety, like nothing like that. But I definitely though am on the same page as you though in the sense of like, it literally just for some reason if a customer walks in, I definitely get anxiety, even though I've been at that job for 6 years now. But every time somebody walks in, I'm like, like I don't. It's so funny because I've been doing it for so long, but I definitely feel that same type of like, oh god, like fuck, should I greet them? Like how the fuck do I greet them? What the fuck do I do? So I've been there, but. Going back to your job.
My job.
Yeah, your job, which is way more important in this conversation.
So I teach little kids, and I'm 2-year-olds, and I am not a mom. You know that. I know that. Now the world does. I'm not a mom, but during the day I am, and I absolutely adore it. It is one of the most best and worst times in my life because I don't have any children. I'm 26. And I'm not married, and I didn't go that route. So it is a remembrance of, like, what I chose in life. Yeah. And that, to me, is, like, it's hard to manage sometimes. Because I feel like, maybe that was, like, my last chance. And I know that's not true logically.
No.
I know that's not true logically. No. But, like, when it comes to the anxiety, like, that overpowers all the logic. That reality doesn't even hit me.
I've been there though at the same time too. It's really funny because a lot of people, like my mom especially, and like a lot of more like adults have like laughed at me when I go like, I'm 26 and I need to do better and get a better job and like do all this stuff, and then people go like, like you're still like an infant. You realize you didn't even hit you're still an infant. Right? Yeah, you're still like an infant in the world. Like you haven't even like you're still like don't have a reason to have your shit together. But anyway, sorry. Continue.
But no, of course. But so I love my children. Like they are my babies. You can ask any of the people that I work for, essentially the parents. They see it. They know like I am 100% there for these children, and it makes me feel amazing. I absolutely love everything that there is to love about them. I love to watch them grow. They teach me new things every day. They show me that they're learning every day, and I go into work and they know 50 million words that they didn't know yesterday. And it's like, wow, like, this is what, this is what is rewarding about my job.
I was gonna say too. What age range are you dealing between at the moment?
2.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So it's literally like still prime A fucking development years.
Yes.
Like that's gotta be wild of just seeing the growth happen per day.
It's amazing.
Per day.
Like it amazes me every day, and it really makes me excited. And this is probably funny, but it really makes me excited for when this time comes for me, because I get to experience that again, but just with my own.
Yeah.
At some point.
But and also too, on a side note, don't be so hardcore with yourself about that type of thing.
Oh no,
you're still, Jesus Christ,
I know
you're still in the prime of your life, and the prime of your life is still for plenty of years.
Well,
so just on a side note,
I'd rather pass nursing school first.
So, and I'm so glad you actually brought that up. So that's the other thing too. So you're currently still in nursing school.
Hey, I want to be a nurse.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to be a midwife.
Oh.
Yeah, I want to deliver babies. But pop them out. Just not for me.
I was about to say, that was about to say. Let's preface something. But so how's that been going? Because I know you were back and forth on it with a little bit.
I did take a break for a while.
Yeah.
I graduated nursing school a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
With flying colors, and then I
Kudos.
ended up taking my boards exam and I failed it, and it absolutely broke me.
Yeah.
It was the worst time of my life, and that was when I took this job. And the one positive aspect I can say about my job, I don't have many, but is that the children really helped me gain my confidence back.
Yeah.
So I'm currently studying every day. I study at least 3 hours, taking notes. I have books. I spent hundreds of dollars on answering questions, making note cards, just really preparing myself for that time.
Yeah.
Because one thing about me is I'm absolutely fascinated with medicine. And I don't mean that like the pharmaceutical companies can go fuck themselves, because literally moneymakers, but
Yep.
I just love everything there is to know about the human body. When people, post on social media and all that, the grotesque pictures of things, I'm just like, whoa,
You're all fucking in it.
I've seen that in person. I've delivered 3 children in my life. It's amazing. Wow. It made me cry.
I was just gonna say that
it was beautiful, and like most people are like, "Ew, like that's so gross," and the blood and blah blah.
That's still insane.
But to me, it's beautiful.
You're literally bringing a human life into existence.
Yes, I helped somebody bring their child into life. Like that was amazing. I got to, feel that experience with them, and it was the most amazing thing. I want to say one of my most memorable experiences in nursing school was I helped somebody our age. At that time, I was 23 at the time. I'm 26 now, so it was 3 years ago.
Yep.
But I helped him walk, and he wasn't supposed to walk. And it was the most amazing thing ever, that I pushed him just enough and showed him that you're 23, you're my age, you can do this.
Yeah.
That he was able to walk with a walker. And it was amazing. And to this day, is one of my most positive, memorable experiences in college, because let me tell you, there were so many shit experiences. Spending 8, 10, 12 hours at school because I was in clinical hours sucked ass.
Yeah, I believe that. Jesus Christ.
But, I hope one day that I'm able to achieve what I'm looking for. And
that's what I was gonna say. I mean, you've been killing the game. And I mean, on top of all things, you took a break. You took the time that you needed to. I needed some time to myself. Exactly.
To deal with a lot of things.
Listen, Allie, there's a lot of people that do the wrong thing, and on top of everything, you've always been one of my friends that have always that I've always appreciated. That's exactly where I want to have you on. You've always been a person that's been able to recognize yourself and recognize like what you've needed and like where you've needed to be at, and you've always taken the time for yourself to either take that time apart from things or really take that time to dedicate to stuff. So I'm just saying, it's a big deal. Most people don't. I'm just being serious. I know. First of all, I know you're a person like me. I know you hate compliments. I know you hate getting compliments, but I'm serious. It's a big thing, and it takes a real amount of time, and it takes a very what do I want to say? It takes a very elevated self-awareness to recognize stuff like that. It's very difficult for people to really take the time to themselves to really like allocate that type of time. And you've done that. It's a really big deal. That's what I'm saying. You've been killing the fucking game, girl. You've been fucking destroying it. Goddamn teaching fucking kids. Goddamn learning kids at 2 years old. Fucking now you're going into nursing. Goddamn helping people walk. Fucking now you're going into midwife stuff, delivering babies. It's a big deal. It's
I mean,
big fucking deal.
Yeah. It's pretty
awesome.
cool.
You have a lot of good stuff to look forward to.
Thank you.
Cannot wait.
I cannot wait to share them with you.
That's what I'm saying. So at some point, I gotta have you on again. We gotta catch up again. Absolutely. That's something you're always welcome on. Please feel free to hit me up.
Thank you.
So on that note, guys, I think we're at a good time. We're almost at about an hour, so I think now's a good time to wrap it up. But Allie, thank you so much again for being on.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you.
Please, the pleasure was only mine. Mine and mine only.
Bye, friends.
Yes. Goodbye, everybody. And as always, good evening, good night, and good luck. Goodbye, everyone.